Hello, everyone, and welcome back to CBJ Sports. This is episode 6. You can listen to all the other episodes on Apple Music, Spotify. We love talking to y'all every single week. We love the listeners that tune in every single week from all around the country. This week, we're going to focus on the NFL first with a draft come up on Thursday. Last week, we had Chris Phillips talking about Gamecock football if you want to go back and listen to that. But as I said, the draft is Thursday. All of our teams have pretty good draft picks. I know I have the best at 8, or actually the Dolphins have 4.
6.
It is 6. And but the first question is best running back down the board. We've talked about guys in earlier podcasts, but a name that I looked in all the mocks and God that I got to watch in the SEC. Well, I have 2 names down, but the first one I saw was Larry Roundtree Sr. I think he did really good in Missouri. He's a ground-and-pound guy, a guy like Zeke who can break tackles. He got the speed to break away. And another name that I brought up earlier in podcasts was J.K. Dobbins. I think he's built for the NFL. I think
J.K. Dobbins is in the NFL.
I wrote J.K. Dobbins, and I meant Trey Sermon.
There you go.
Oh, no. Bad start. I'll let y'all go.
I had Trey Sermon as mine. I think he's going to pop out to be like a J.K. Dobbins.
You know it's bad? I really actually wrote down J.K. Dobbins. I was like, dude, he's going to be so good.
I had him, but I also had Chuba Hubbard. Is that
That's a name that
I don't think he'll go early, but he'll be a productive back in the NFL late.
I actually went a little bit deeper. I went to like the 6th, 7th rounds, just kind of looking at names. And one name I saw that I really can't believe we haven't heard about more this year was Puka Williams. I mean, he was a guy that
really good last year.
Yeah, really good. Just never heard his name. He's might be a smaller back for the NFL, but he's unique. He's small, but he runs.
I think he's like a Rashad Penny out of San Diego State. He's smaller, but he's built.
I mean, what he's done the past 3 years, 4 years in Kansas. I mean, you always hear his name every year, even though the team's not good. You always hear his name out of it, and I think behind a good offensive line, you never know, get that chance, and he could be really good.
Yeah, I think this is a really deep draft, maybe one of the deepest we've seen in a while. I think the running backs down the board are going to be really good. Maybe another James Robinson. We see an undrafted free agent like a guy out of Memphis. But moving on, what team moves up for a QB? I think the Panthers are in a situation where they want to trade back because they got Sam Darnold. But a team that I think that's going to move up and take quarterback because they're not set is the Patriots. I think Cam's not their true number one guy. Yeah, they re-signed him, but I think he's a safety net for the Patriots. I think they want to move up, get a guy like Trey Lance, see if a guy like Justin Fields falls, if Mac Jones is taken at 3 by the Niners. But I think the Patriots are going to look to take quarterback early.
There was a couple teams I had down for this. The first one that I wanted to say, but it wouldn't make sense, was the Saints. I like Jameis, but you never know how that's going to pan out, and the only problem with that is I don't know if they have the assets to be able to trade up. They have a very late first-round pick that's not viable for teams that are trying to – they don't want to trade down a whole round. They want to trade down 6, 7, maybe at the most 10 picks. And the other team that really came across was the Bears. You got Andy Dalton on a 1-year deal. Like you said, kind of a safety net type of guy. I would like to see them trade up, maybe get a Trey Lance or a Mac Jones in that mid-first round, and I mean, I think they could be a really good team.
Yeah, if I see Mac Jones fall away, I could see the Bears maybe trading up. But if not, just write Andy Dalton out and see what quarterbacks come next year. But I got Pittsburgh trading up for a quarterback. I think
that's a really good situation. They have to get
a quarterback sooner. They have to be. I know that they ain't re-signed James Conner, but you know they're thinking, all right,
that might be a
Big
day 2
Ben
quarterback team.
Yeah. I know they're hiring Kellen Mond.
I don't know if the Pittsburgh Steelers will be a team to look to give up stuff to move up because I don't know how much they look for Trey Lance.
I think it all depends on like who falls.
Who they want.
If someone falls and they know someone's right in front of them that might draft QB.
That's where Kyle Trask could come into play.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If they fall away, I think they might trade up. Just a couple picks to ensure.
Yeah, I'd go Patriots. I think here soon they're going to start looking for another franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think Cam is – I love Cam. I'm biggest Cam Newton fan in the world. I just don't think the Patriots are fully sold on him. I think they're going to look to add a guy, especially a young guy, to sit behind Cam a year and learn, especially if you get a guy like Trey Lance who's literally like Cam Newton. Moving on to a guy that is being regarded as a generational type draft guy, Kyle Pitts. The question is he the best player in the draft? One name is the only name that I think you could put above him, and that's Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is meant to be a Hall of Fame guy unless he's injured. I think he's going to be really good in Jacksonville. But I think Kyle Pitts is the next name on that board. He's got to be 2 for me.
Really, it's hard to compare because you're talking about 2 different positions. And while talent-wise, I do think Trevor is the best player in this draft. Skill-wise, I think Kyle Pitts is the best player in this draft. It's kind of just hard to compare the 2 different positions when they do two totally different things because Kyle Pitts could go have a no-name quarterback and never hear from him.
That would be so sad.
And vice versa, the other way around.
I mean, he's going to be the next Travis Kelce, if not better than him.
I think he's a solid pick, like, just to be a Hall of Fame guy.
He's just so athletic. It's insane.
I think you can't really take this off of Trevor Lawrence. This is his draft. He's number 1 pick. But definitely number 2.
Yeah, I think Kyle Pitts is going to be a guy we get to see in the NFL on Sundays for a very long time. If the Bucs look to take a wide receiver, they have the 32nd draft pick. And a lot of people think wide receiver maybe be in that selection. They need to get a guy at 4. I think Tyler Johnson's not clear cut to be that guy at 4 for the Bucs. I think what's a name that you would like to see if they do take a wide receiver, a defensive tackle, interior lineman? I think they're going to go wide receiver. I think a guy down the board. I mean, I don't really know a name, but I think if they're going to draft late, I think it has to be wide receiver.
I have a name. Don't worry. But I'll put one with Rondell Moore out of Purdue. I think he fits that scheme very well. He's just a really good receiver that kind of fits that timeline, fits that part of the draft where you could see him go. And I don't see how they can mess up with that pick because he's a really good receiver. So that's where I have him going.
I think they're set on receivers. Like, it's Tom Brady. We all know that he can work with just one receiver. He can make it work. And they got Tom Brady for 2 more years now, at least. So I think their main goal, I don't think, is receiver this year. I think they go either looking for a replacement for Levante David, who is getting very old, or they go quarterback looking to see someone sit behind Tom Brady for someone after him.
I'd go with what you said, D-line, or I can even see him taking a corner late.
I think DT's a big problem. I think Sue's
just have
getting
depth
old
in the corner or just a defensive room, period.
I think Sue's getting old. That defensive line, I think, is the oldest of the bunch.
I don't see him going receiver because they might. I don't know if they're going to re-sign AB, but they might. You got Godwin, he's young. They got Mike Evans, Scotty Miller.
Yeah, they have Sue, who's 33, 34
yeah, and then
now.
they got the one dude. He's got like 2 last names. I don't know.
They resigned Shaq Barrett, right?
No,
they resigned Shaquille Barrett, right?
he's
And
They signed everybody back. They signed everybody back.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got Vita Vea. That's the one bright spot in that.
I mean, Shaq Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul getting most of that
There's
pressure.
the 2-name guy.
Two name guy.
No, that's the
No.
That's a 2-finger guy.
No, it's the mutant.
I think overall, what everyone is trying to say is the Bucks are really, really good, and there's not a lot of holes on that
I don't
team.
think
You can't go wrong at 32.
wherever they draft. Yeah, it's kind of like how the Chiefs were last year.
I mean, I could even see him getting a punter.
Long snapper.
That's such a Tom Brady, like, here, just take a punter, dude.
I got this. Just take the punter.
I think wherever they go, I mean, it's kind of like last year with the Chiefs. They took Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and was he probably the best running back on the board? No, but he
Did
wasn't.
he fit the system?
They literally asked Patrick Mahomes, "Who do you want at 32?" And he said, "I want Clyde Edwards-Helaire."
I don't know.
He fit
Who
the
was in
system
that draft class? Running back.
Jonathan Taylor, J.K. Dobbins.
So many other options.
He played good though against.
They went-
I thought for sure Jonathan
played
Taylor would have
really
been the
good.
first running back off the board.
Hey, that's
Nah.
a good segue into the next question because running back is a problem in Buffalo. I know, as we have 2 Buffalo fans, I think watching the Bills from another fan of a team perspective, I think the biggest problem is Devin Singletary. He's a great speed back. He doesn't make a lot of people miss, but if he gets through a hole, he's gone. He's got the speed to kill. They had Zach Moss last year who can break tackles, but he stayed injured a lot.
Tore his ACL, right?
Yeah, I think you have
What'd
to
he
take
do?
a guy early. I think he was just injured a lot. He
Yeah,
had
it
different
was-
injuries.
Late in the season,
He only got
He had a
hurt.
major
he got
injury
hurt.
toward the end of the year.
No,
He just had
he
his
got hurt
sprained
once.
ankle.
It was
Everybody thought he
something.
broke
He
his
played
ankle.
in the whole playoffs.
Yeah,
he
but-
only missed like 1-2 games.
Yeah, the point I was trying to make is Zach Moss was a late round guy. I think they have to waste a higher pick, if not the first or second round, on a running back. But what if Harris or Etienne available? Where do you think they go? If they go running back or if they go somewhere else. I chose linebacker because I think that's a big problem in Buffalo. I think that defense needs one more backer. I think they re-signed Matt Milano. You got Edmonds. I think one more guy to solidify that front seven is what makes that defense go over the top. You can live with Zach Moss if he stays healthy. Devin Singletary as a backup, I think that works. And you look for a running back later on in the draft. I think linebacker is the biggest problem to address now.
I'd say edge or D tackle. You got Ed Oliver, and then you got Harrison Phillips. He's been injured the last 2 years with ACL injuries.
Harrison Phillips.
Yeah, from Stanford. And then you got Stark coming back, but he's old. Yeah, he's old. You don't know if he's gonna be healthy or not. I'd go that or edge because you got Jerry Hughes, but Jerry Hughes is still productive in the NFL. But you ride Zach Moss out and Singletary, but Zach Moss needs to be the day one starter though. I think everybody knows that.
So edge for CJ.
Yeah, Buffalo's always been that. They're not reaching for a running back. That's just how the Buffalo's always been. They've had good running backs, but they're not always reaching for a running back. They're always looking for that late round running back like Zach Moss. So I think this year, I don't think they're going to go running back first round. If you see them, I think they're going to go tight end, maybe linebacker. But if not, I wouldn't doubt it if you see Buffalo trade back.
I think the only thing wrong with the tight end thing is after Kyle Pitts, there's such a massive drop-off in tight end talent, I feel like, this year in the draft. It's not one of the deeper tight end class. There are good tight ends, but translated to the NFL, I would probably go edge. I think that's where the position where you're getting the oldest at right now. I think that's where you could improve the most. Get a guy that can sit behind Jerry Hughes for a year till his contract expires, and then you got a guy that can go in there and hopefully be a starter. Let him rotate.
There's also so many guys in this draft that could drop. Quiddy Pay from Penn State could fall. I wrote a name. I'm going to slaughter the name. Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah. I think if he falls, I think that's a guy Buffalo can't pass up on. He's really good out of Notre Dame.
What's the deal from Michigan?
Well, I know you're talking about because Buffalo's high on him, and one of the rushers from Penn State, they like that Notre Dame linebacker too. And they also like one of the edge rushers out of Miami. I don't know.
Gregory Rousseau. There's
him, but the other one.
Rousseau should be going early, though.
Yeah, he's going to go early.
I know what the other one you're talking about.
I don't know whose name is.
That's going to wrap up the NFL topic as we move on to some of the craziest things that happen in sports. But MLB, I think it's been off to the weirdest start with weird teams being really good, good teams being really bad.
Real quick, I was right. Quiddy Pay is Michigan.
Michigan?
Yeah.
I guess swore from
that's as soon as you said it, I was like, no, that's Michael Parsons.
Penn State's like Owa or something.
Yeah, it's something
weird.
But with the MLB, the Red Sox are off to a hot start. The Braves and Yankees are off to rough starts, to say less. The Yankees are trying to get back on track with back-to-back wins. But what's the most shocking start, good or bad? To me, I have to go Red Sox. I'm a Red Sox fan, and if you told me we would be first in the division at 13-7, or 13-9, maybe one of the two, I wouldn't believe you. I would smack you right in the face. I'd be like, "There's no way we're positive this early into the season." But they're first in the AL East. The pitching is doing enough. They're scoring enough runs as a lot of people expected. But I think the Red Sox being first in the AL East is the most shocking start I see.
I was choosing between two. It was between both teams come from the same division. Surprisingly, I was going with either the Athletics or the Mariners. I'm going to go with the Mariners, though, just because nobody said the Mariners would be first in their division after 3 weeks.
And the Mariners and Red Sox just split a series. This is a really good series.
3 weeks into the season, if you tell me the Mariners are first in the AL West and they are a top 3 team in the AL right now, I would have called you insane. They got good players. They don't have that. They're kind of playing that budget ball right now. They got Mitch Haniger. They got guys that Kyle Lewis is going to be an absolute star in the game. They got good pitchers. Marco Gonzalez is a really good one. And that team's just surprising a lot of people right now. Can they keep it up? Who knows? But I like the team a lot.
Yeah, I think if you have to go with most shocking, you have to go Mariners because every year you expect the Red Sox to kind of be competing up there in their division. Yeah, they're having a great start. I'm not going to deny that for them. But I think when it comes to most shocking, you have to go Mariners.
I'd go Red Sox. Missing your ace and Chris
just missing
Sale.
so many holes.
Yeah. If you just look at that roster,
there's so many young guys like Bobby Dahlbeck's playing good.
And
Christian Vasquez is off to a good start. JD Martinez is JD Martinez again. It's just so weird, especially, like you said, without Chris Sale.
Yeah.
I think the pitching is really shocking right now. Christian Arroyo's playing good, a young rookie. I think the Red Sox are off to a very surprising start for me. Talking about shocking starts, are the Giants the biggest sleeper in baseball? They're off to a very competitive start in that division with over there in the West. But I just think they're very talented. They're a very talented team, don't get me wrong. But I just think in that division, you're going to have to win so many games that you're not supposed to win that it's just not going to be enough for the Giants.
I don't know if, like, I hate saying a team's not talented, but I feel like they're more scrappy than talented. It's a team that's, once again, put together of a bunch of low-budget guys right now.
It reminds me of, like, the Athletics. Every once in a
Moneyball.
while. Yeah, literally Moneyball.
I mean, it's just like, do I think it lasts to the All-Star break? No. I think they'll be at that point they are every year at the All-Star break where they're hovering right around 500. They don't know if they want to be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. And because, I mean, don't get me wrong, they got good players. They got Devin Solano, who's played really good this year so far. Then you got players, Buster Posey's getting old.
Big Mike, baby.
I mean,
I was going to say
really-
Buster Posey. I was like, he's like 40.
Really old.
Big Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mike
Mike
Yastrzemski. I
Yastrzemski.
mean, everybody loves Big Mike. But I like the team. I just can't see them
Yeah.
being
Yeah,
competitive.
baseball is so, like, it could start one way with these
Start
teams.
8-0,
Next thing you know, those
finish
teams
the
are the
month
drafted
8 and
first.
16.
Yeah,
Yeah.
baseball's hard because
So I don't see-
some teams can go like on a like the Red Sox did, like what was it, 10-8
I mean-
game win streak, and then you might lose a couple.
What the Athletics started out their year, I think 1-8, 1-7, and now they've won 13 straight.
Yeah.
So it's a game of streaks. That's what baseball is. It's a game of
Yeah.
who's hot at the right time. And I mean, unless you're the Dodgers, then you just
I mean, that's kind of like
you
the
pay
Yankees-
everybody $500
The
million.
Yankees, the other night they won 3-2 in a row against the Indians. They're just hitting the ball really good.
Stanton hit 2 home
Yeah.
runs to win.
Yeah, I think after all those topics, I mean, the MLB is just really a confusing time right now because you don't know what teams are going to be good, what teams are going to be bad. Everyone's in a spot. I think the Braves, they're off to a rocky start, but everyone knows they're going to be good by the time they end the season. I think they're going to flip that record around. The Yankees are kind of in the same spot. They just got to get the hitting going, and a team like the Red Sox could fall off completely if pitching goes wrong. The next topic was favorite young star so far. You can go check that out on our Instagram. We posted a picture today. You can go see who we chose. CBJ Sports on Instagram, Twitter, also TikTok. We post clips every single week. But the next topic to start a lot of the arguments I think is going to happen is the NBA. And the first one is this week Max Kellerman brought up Curry's offensive production since he said he was the MVP candidate. Curry said, I should be in the MVP race. I am the MVP. No one's really matching me right now. And Max Kellerman said that KD, James Harden, and Damian Lillard were all better than Curry offensively. Is this correct? I'm going to start it off. I think the only one that I would put above Curry is KD. I think KD's the best offensive scoring machine in the NBA, maybe ever, besides Michael Jordan. But Damian Lillard can't score with Curry, and James Harden,
Streaky.
he's streaky, but he's not scoring with Curry consistency-wise. I just don't – Curry's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Are we talking about at this very moment, or are we talking about overall?
right now.
I think the context was right now.
Yeah.
At this very moment, I don't think there is a better guy than Curry.
Now, if we're talking about right now, I'd probably put Curry over KD.
Yeah,
Honestly.
if we're talking
He
about
had
this
that
very
little- he
moment,
had that
I would
little
put Curry
span
over
where he was
KD.
going
But if we're
off.
talking about overall, I mean, like I said
It's
a couple
hard,
weeks
I think we have to
ago,
base this off of the season. Every time KD
Oh, yeah.
touches his court, I mean, he came back from one game and went perfect. 7 for 7,
think-
19 points.
Yeah, Curry's definitely 2 though, but with the
I think
team he's got to deal with right now, I don't know.
Kelly Oubre, 13% from 3.
Yeah, I think
He's popping off.
that's why,
dude.
like, if Warriors
Having a
weren't 10th
tag.
in the West, Curry gets MVP right now. So I think KD's got so much help around him. It's like you can't double team anybody on that court. Curry's got the ball. You might see a double team or a trap or something around him. Try to, and he's still scoring 30 points.
no, just kick it out to
He's just
Iguodala. I want Iguodala.
It's so tough because
Yeah,
Curry's
but
in
KD
such a
is-
different
when
situation.
KD's healthy,
but
he's a
it's
great
like,
scorer.
when KD's on the court, it's like, oh, dude, he's not stopping. KD gets
Yeah.
another bucket.
You want 7-foot Curry or 6'2" Curry? Which one do you want?
That's what I'm saying. But like,
Iguodala.
Yeah, I want
But at this very moment, I think Curry is the best offensive player. Overall, I think it's KD. I think KD, by the time it's said and done, would be the greatest offensive player to ever touch a court.
You gotta stay healthy.
Yeah, talking about guys that are popping off right now, that brings to most improved from last year to this year, and six-man of the year awards. We're all going to give ours. We'll start with most improved, and for me it has to be Julius Randle. He comes into New York, he makes them winners again. He changes the city. The environment's new. Everyone's hopeful for the Knicks to be good again. And Julius Randle's, I think it's almost 30-13 or something like that. He's an all-star. I think Julius Randle's got to win that award.
Yeah, I think you have to go Julius Randle. Like, everybody, you see the Knicks winning again, and you see everybody hearing that as, like, basketball's back, the New York's winning. So I think you have to go Julius Randle.
Yeah,
Julius Randle changed all that.
We've seen what his potential could be, but I didn't know it was going to be like this. Like, he's popping
he's
off.
He's going for it, like carrying the team on his back sometimes.
Yeah, he's literally the face of the Knicks right now. I mean, he is doing – I mean, if you would have told me 3 or 4 years ago that Julius Randle would be making 4 or 5 threes –
Hold on, are we all in agreement right now?
Oh, well, I mean, it has to be.
That's
I don't know who you'd put over him, honestly.
Who you'd compare it to him? You don't know. That's what I'm saying.
I had a name last night, but I think I just went with Julius Randle and ran with it. But since we're all in agreement, six-man of the year. I think this is where we're all probably going to be different. For me, it's a guy that I've seen these six-man the last 2 years, and he comes off the bench and drops 30 sometimes, and it's Jordan Clarkson in Utah. I think he's getting better and better every single year. Sometimes he gets a chance to start and matches D-Mitch points-wise. He's a guy, he can get a bucket on every side of the court. He's grown a lot since being a Laker. I think Jordan Clarkson deserves the award more than anyone.
I can't believe I'm about to agree twice with you. I actually have Clarkson. I mean, he's averaging, what, I think it was 17.5, 4 and 3 this year, which off
the bench.
Yeah, like, he's contributing to that team in every facet.
I think
right
he has a 50-point game this year.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know. I didn't take notes.
There you go.
This guy.
I think you'd say Lou Will, but I don't know what he's been doing.
I think he got traded.
He's in Atlanta.
Yeah,
he got traded.
He's in Atlanta.
He's never played
I don't think his
basketball.
name is relevant anymore. But I think if you don't go Jordan Clarkson, you have to go Joe Ingles. But I don't think it's even as close.
I think Jordan Clarkson is it's a guy that should have won it, I think, last year maybe, and he kind of got snubbed. There's no six-man averaging 17.
Yeah.
I think Jordan Clarkson's got that race on lock for the rest of the year. Moving on to guys that carry their team. One center to win a chip. I think CJ is going to argue with this for a long time. Jokic, Embiid, 2 MVP guys this year. But I think I took the Joker just off what he does for the Nuggets. He does literally everything. He's a point guard for the team. He can shoot threes better than Embiid. Yes, he's not. I mean, honestly, sometimes he can't just back down someone, give it a little post fade like Joel, but he's not going to go into the post and dunk on your family because he's just not that athletic. But he's sneaky with the basketball. He's so smart. He's changing the game at center. I think I want a center that can do everything. I'm going to go Joker.
Real quick, I think either way, whether it is
It's a win-win. But
yeah, with whether it is Jokic or Embiid, I love it for the game. I love that the center position's finally gaining more prominence. Because for a while, for the past, it feels like
a guard-driven league.
Yeah.
Tristan Thompson. Was he 6'9", 6'8"?
Yeah, Tristan Thompson and
like Houston last year playing P.J. Tucker as center.
It really just depends, what your team's based off of.
We're just going off talent.
Talent?
Straight up.
I'd take Embiid. I really,
Why?
No, honestly, there is not nobody.
What does he do better than Nikola Jokic?
Nobody's stopping him in the paint. Nobody. He'll drop 40 on you just in the paint.
So if I just have Andre Drummond down there, I can stop him.
He dropped 30 on him this year.
I'm not saying a guy like Andre Drummond. If I just have a big guy that's going to play paint, all I got to do is stop Joel.
Embiid can shoot. I mean, I've watched plenty of games of Sixers. He can pass. I mean, he really does. He does everything.
But not on the level of Nikola Jokic.
Well, yeah, but you also have Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris. You got all them guys making plays for him. Jokic is over here making plays.
Nikola Jokic is playing point guard when they have Jamal Murray.
He's injured.
But they still have a point guard.
I don't know. If I'd take Embiid. He's more dominant.
Yeah, but that's not what gives MVP awards.
I thought we were talking about a chip here.
We're talking about championship or
One
MVP?
center to win a championship off talent. Pick one.
I'm Embiid.
I think I
all
got to
day.
go Jokic just for the fact he makes his team
He does
that much
everything.
better. He's not the best defensive player. We understand that. But if you're talking about somebody I want to be a team leader and give me the best chance of winning a championship, I'm going Jokic. There's just, I guess the way to think about it. So we're just talking about which player could carry their team to a championship.
If you're making a lineup out of the team,
It's hard
out of
because
all
it's
the
hard
players
for
in the
that
NBA,
to say that.
and you have to fill that center position out of all the centers in the NBA, who you taking?
That's a better way to say it because a center's not carrying a team to the championship. I hate to say it. You might think Jokic can. A center's not carrying a team to a championship. They're really not.
You're building a championship team, and you get
You're building a championship team. If you throw Embiid on the Nuggets right now, that team's unstoppable. Let me say that. Embiid really.
They're unstoppable.
They still are, but like Jokic, I don't think Jokic is
that's
bad.
a Western Conference Finals.
But
team.
Embiid, there's no one stopping him in the paint. And
Billy
he's a
said
momentum
too.
changer.
But
You
he
get
plays-
Embiid, you watch him
he's
dunk
probably-
on someone.
he's
That's
top-
a momentum changer. Jokic, hook this. Oh,
Let me drain
yeah.
4 threes
No,
in your
no,
mouth.
no. I'd rather have a center
Embiid-
that is going to grab you
Embiid-
rebounds and just dunk on someone.
Then that's
I'm
just
a
that's just personal preference
Yeah,
of the
that's
type
what
of
I'm saying.
center you
That's
want.
the question for me.
Embiid-
That's the question for me. I take
Embiid's always
Embiid.
in the Defensive Player of the Year award every year.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
shooting
taking
like
Embiid
40%
any
from the
day.
3 this year. He can give you 50 easily.
Nikola can give you 50. He gave the Nuggets 50, 17, and like 12 the other night.
All right, and B can do that too, but it's just that's what I'm
Embiid
saying.
is
It's
not
just-
getting a triple double. No shot. No shot. He's not getting 10 assists. I give him 50 games and he's not giving me a triple double.
Well, here's the thing. If I'm a GM, I'm not
What?
expecting my center to get a
Yeah.
triple double.
But that's
That's
what
just
makes
me,
Jokic
though.
That's what makes
That's
Jokic
just
so
me.
unique.
Yeah, no, but like
But yet
I'm
again,
not
it goes
playing
back to
through
the
my
question,
center. I
like-
hate to say I'm not though.
I don't.
Do I want my center dropping 30 points and dunking on everyone? Yeah, Embiid, give me him.
What you know?
Do I want
Am I
my-
losing first round in these conference
No,
finals?
but
Yeah, I'll take
but
Joel
I want
if I was
defense?
in
Yeah, give
Ben's
me Embiid.
situation, I don't want Ben Simmons at my point guard. So
Yeah, and I guess that kind of brings it down when you said you're building a championship team. Who would you rather take?
yeah,
Well, I guess it comes down to who are those other. I know it sounds weird, but I guess it comes down to what team are you building? Like,
so
what
it's like,
kind
if you
of-
That's
take
what I'm
if you
saying.
take
That's what I
Jokic,
said.
take Jokic and Embiid out of the picture. Whose team are you taking right now? Are you taking Jokic's teammates right now or Embiid's teammates right now?
That's a really good question
I'm
because
taking-
that's so close. Because
no,
they're
I'm
such good teams.
I'm taking Nuggets.
I-
I'm taking Nuggets.
I mean,
They're both so good.
It's hard to
because the
say,
Nuggets
but-
you get
Sixers.
Michael
I ain't gonna lie.
Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and
That's what I'm saying.
you get Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris.
But I don't like Ben Simmons. I don't.
I watched.
This league is such.
Yeah,
you
it's
have to be
hard.
able to outscore.
I
the
watched
other
the
team. You
Sixers
have
game
to.
the other
That's how
day
it
when
is now.
they're. I'm pretty sure I sent a video in the group chat of when they were playing the Clippers and they were up 20-3 within like 1 minute of the game, just draining threes like it was nothing. I mean, just quick.
As I think it's what you gotta be able to score in this league, and Sixers that really hasn't been known to do that.
I think
Embiid's
This
been
year,
helping
yes.
that, but
This year, yes. We can shoot.
this year they've
they can
gotten
shoot
better.
the three really
but
good.
like when it comes to like, which team do I trust? One of the 5 players to make a 3 ball. I'm going Nuggets.
It's just,
I
I
have
think
to
me
go
and Billy
Nuggets.
took this. I think Jokic has more tools.
Yeah,
I think
Jokic
you open
definitely
up
has
the
way
tool
more
bag-
skill when it comes to like handles, just and
Okay,
smartness.
I don't know about that far, but
Yeah,
More
no.
he's got more handles than Embiid.
It's not-
okay,
You don't think
3
so?
mile per hour crossovers.
I'm talking about more than Embiid. More than Embiid.
He's like Kyle Anderson running a fast break.
yeah, but he's smart with it. He's not turning it over.
That's
like-
why I took him. He's got
That's what
IQ
I'm
like a
saying.
point guard.
But the question was, who am I building a championship? I'm taking Embiid.
I want to argue, but then it's like it's personal preference. You two, I think, like the more get in the paint, be aggressive kind of
Old
centers.
school
Shaq.
Yeah,
centers.
Shaq.
Shaq.
Hakeem
I
So
think-
see, Shaq had Kobe. See, if Embiid had a Kobe,
See, no one's
It's the greatest
Nikola
duo.
Jokic. No one ever.
exactly. So who do you pair
Bill
with him like
Cartwright.
that?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
Bill Walton, baby,
What
point
kind
guard.
of
Brian
point guard do you pair?
Scalabrine.
What kind of point guard do you pair with Jokic? Because
Curry.
you're pretty much running
Curry can
through.
play off ball.
Yeah,
played
Curry.
off
See,
ball
yeah,
his whole
Curry.
career.
Yeah, Curry. But the Nuggets don't really have that Curry right now. I mean,
Yeah.
no,
No,
not
Curry
like Curry.
does it.
Curry's Curry.
Yeah, but
50 in just
no,
the
because then
Western Conference
Jamal,
playoffs.
Jamal Murray's name would have been on that list earlier.
In what list?
The KD Harden dance.
I'm not.
No,
Jamal's
okay,
in that.
let's chill
That's
there.
what I'm saying.
Jamal's not
Nobody
in that
did
list,
that.
but Jamal 50 in the Western Conference
He
playoffs.
can, yes, he can, but he's not like Curry.
I think that's all on preference and everything. Moving on to college football. An exciting weekend this weekend for me and Billy. As South Carolina got their spring game underway, and college football finally feels like it's inching closer to us, and we're finally getting that feel of September's coming around, and we're going to get to see it soon. But unknown guys, QB and running back to watch out for the 2021 football season. We'll start at quarterback and go around the board. I'll start. I think Matt Corral at Ole Miss, I think he's made for Lane Kiffin in that offense. I think he's a guy that's exceeded expectations in year one last year. I think he's a guy that Lane Kiffin can build on and just get better and better and get ready for the draft. I think Matt Corral has to be my guy.
I don't know what planets are aligning in the world right now, but I swear the fact that me and Blake have
You really went
agreed,
Matt Corral.
I put Matt Corral. I mean, I can't believe this. The world's ending within the next 30 minutes.
Well, I
There's
guess
no
I-
way. I mean,
I'm
he's built for, like you said, Lane Kiffin is one of the best offensive play callers. Head coach, offensive play caller, very much so. And I think when you
Defense,
got
no bueno. But
those two mesh, Big 12. I just think those two mesh together so well.
he's made for
And-
Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
you? See, I don't know. Could
Say some really good quarterback. It's unknown guys. Say some really big names.
Luke
DJ,
Gotti. He's gonna go off.
I hate you.
Nah, I was gonna say Spencer Rattler, but I
Okay,
really
that's a
don't.
Heisman contender.
Dark horse.
Yeah, dark horse.
Okay.
Not Heisman. I don't know. I really don't.
I'm gonna go De'Aaron King out of Miami. I think that it could be one of those years
Yeah.
where because we expect the quarterback out of North Carolina to be like the MVP candidate.
I mean, I
or
don't know
an
if
MVP.
Derek
Heisman.
King's unknown, but
He's not.
He's definitely not up the
he's
board.
Not,
Yeah,
yeah, he's
I'll
not up
count
there.
it.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. He's not.
definitely.
He's not
I'll count
unknown, but he's not up there. So I'm saying. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and predict this. I think Miami beats North Carolina to knock North Carolina out.
okay,
of
I'm going to go
contention.
ahead and
I don't know. I'm just.
Maybe
maybe.
North Carolina fans listening, just disregard that one. I don't agree with that statement. So be safe. Moving on to running back, I'm going to stay in the SEC. I think it's the most competitive conference in football. I think Dameon Pierce is built for that Florida offense. I think Dameon Pierce is just another Florida running back that's going to be really, really good. I don't know. He really popped off last year. I think Dameon Pierce is a guy that's going to be known around college football very fast.
Yeah, he's also on the Jets.
No shot, Billy put Dameon Pierce.
No,
He's on the
didn't,
Jets.
actually.
That dude's on the Jets, or am I tripping?
No.
I swear Jets have a Pierce dude from Florida. I
No,
swear.
Piron.
Oh, Piron. Okay.
Was it?
I was about to say,
Scary.
what?
It isn't Samaje, it's Lamaco, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say.
I was like, huh?
See, when you made that list, when you put us in as the topics, I thought you meant together.
Together? So you went
Yeah.
running back from Ole Miss?
I mean, I kind of just went with them as a duo,
Yeah,
and
that's fine.
I didn't really do much research on them, but I saw Matt Corral, and that was the first thing I saw, and I'm like, that makes so much sense.
I'll just go with the running back.
I cannot remember. Hold up, I have it in my notes.
I'd go back to a couple pods ago to the Clemson running back.
Will Shipley.
Yep, I'd go back to him. I think he'll fit that role pretty good over there.
I'm thinking maybe. I don't really know with this one. I'm thinking maybe Max Brogy out of Washington State. I think he could have a good year.
Washington State's been such a run heavy the last 2 years after they lost their big time quarterbacks and Mike Leach left. I think I'm gonna let Billy get time to maybe throw in a name here.
Yeah, no, I had his name down, and I can't find it.
Barry Sanders.
Some Memphis 300-pound running back that runs every down.
Oh, I'm still going with the Ole Miss kid because he's good.
Fudge.
What
Brees Hall.
5-star Barry Sanders.
I'm gonna go Brees Hall.
Jerrion Ely. That's his name.
That's okay. I'll give you that one. That's a really good one.
Yeah, that's the one from Ole Miss.
Replacing.
right?
Huh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I went with him and Matt Corral because when you said it, I was like, I thought you meant together. I'm like, those two in that offense.
Darren is also like a sophomore, isn't he?
I think he's a junior this year. Well, no, last year didn't count, so he probably still is a sophomore.
Yeah, I think
That's
Jaron
what it
Ely's
is,
a really good one.
Yeah,
I
you
think-
can be a 10th year senior now with COVID.
Oh,
The good
no.
old Hunter in for a special.
yeah.
I think talking about Hunter Renfro, maybe you could throw him in the next topic. I'm not, but
No.
top 3 college wide
Not me.
receivers of the last decade.
Antonio Brown.
This is a fun one, and honestly, it's there's so many good ones. We're gonna start at 3 and go around the board. Three. This is such a hard one. There's so many good wide receivers. Like, I have no names on this note section because I have like 5 in my head that I knew I was going to have to come down when I made this podcast. And 3, I'm going Mike Evans. I think he was so good with Johnny Manziel. I think that he's got to be a guy that's got to be up there. He had, like in the NFL, 1,000-yard seasons every year in college pretty much. He changed football for the better. They beat Alabama, and he was a really big part of that. I had to go Mike Evans at 3. Who wants to be 3 first?
I'll go Michael
It's
Floyd
so
out of
tough.
Notre Dame.
Michael Floyd.
3?
Yep. He had almost 4,000 receiving yards. And
Yeah, but
38
who knows
total
who
touchdowns.
Michael Floyd
Nobody knows
is?
him because he's not in the NFL no more. We're talking college.
Yeah, I
So,
think
we're
I still
talking
would have went
stats.
Golden Tate if it were Notre Dame receivers.
I think I'm still going Alshon
I'm going Michael
Jeffrey.
Floyd
go?
at my
Who'd you
number
go
3. Michael Floyd. Not based off their NFL career.
Just
We're
go
talking
Tavon
about their college
Austin. I
career.
know you wanna.
He was
That
forward from
decade.
there.
It's the greatest highlight tape ever. You can't argue that.
Helen back.
I don't know, dude. I really don't. It's so tough.
There's like 15 guys you could put at 3.
Oh my god.
Billy, you got 3?
You got. All right. You can put Tavon Austin,
Okay, we want 1 at 3.
Percy Harvin.
Is that your 3?
No, I'm just reading names. I'm just reading names off. Justin Blackman, where's that dude at?
That's my
Jay.
number.
I don't know. I
That's my
might
number
put
2.
Mike Evans at 3 because he
Justin
really
Blackman's
was
really
really
good.
good at
Blackman's
Texas
my number
A&M.
2.
Yeah, Justin Blackman's also good at
Shit.
Oklahoma
South
State.
Carolina bias really wanted to put Alshon so bad. I mean,
It's so hard,
incredibly just was.
All right, so I need a 3 from both of you. I mean, I got Michael Floyd on the board for whatever
It's so
reason.
hard. It's the top 3. Such a narrow down.
But what, you want to take 45 minutes to
You
top
know
10?
You know what? I got Julio at 3.
Okay.
At 3? That's
That's low.
yeah. Thank you.
I don't got top 3. I think
We
you guys
watch
are going
college
based
football?
off their name. Or their,
Did we
their-
watch college
wait,
football at the
are we
same
going
time?
off
You went
stats?
Michael Floyd.
Are we going stats or are we going off?
I don't
what
remember
crazy
Michael
catch they had?
Floyd having any highlights at Notre Dame.
I'm pulling it.
No,
See, we're talking
you know what?
highlights.
You know what?
Tavon Austin's number 1. There, let's just
no,
this is over.
we're not.
Are we
I'm
talking
gonna
highlights
do
or
3.
stats?
I'm gonna go Devonta Smith. Actually, I mean
That's a good.
that's
Heisman?
Heisman winner. I mean, it's part of you wants to say like, well, he's a Heisman wide receiver. He should be 1, but I think there are other guys that impacted their team. If there wouldn't have been such good Heismans in front of them, I think they would have been.
Can I just say this real quick? I'm sorry. Julio has 2,600 yards in college.
In 3 years.
17 touchdowns.
In 3 years.
3 years.
Okay. Michael Floyd played 3 years.
Michael
Had
Floyd
38
probably was a
touchdowns,
6th-year
almost
redshirt,
4,000
redshirt
yards.
senior.
No, played 3 years. Played
Number
3
2.
years.
Number
Okay.
2.
Number 2.
I'm going Devontae Smith.
You went Devontae
Yeah.
Smith. I wanted to go really recent. I wanted to maybe go Devontae Smith, but I'm going a year back. I think Justin Jefferson had one of the craziest wide receiver years in LSU history and the SEC history. Touchdown records. It's recency bias, but I think Justin Jefferson was one of the greatest route runners in college football history. You can go back, maybe Alshon, guys like that, but they didn't run routes like Justin Jefferson did
Really?
when he was
I mean-
in college. Justin Jefferson was my 2, and I couldn't find another option.
You really can either go Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase for
I'm
that.
saying,
for that
I'm pretty sure
singular
Jamar
year.
Chase had the most yards out of them two.
Justin Jefferson had more touchdowns. That's why I went. He broke touchdown records,
Oh, yeah.
LSU, SEC records.
This could be SEC bias. This could be big name bias. This could be because I was little and every time I saw him, he was dunking on everybody's family. I went with AJ Green. I mean, him at Georgia.
Yeah.
What was it? Don't say his name. What was it? It wasn't Stafford throwing to him, was it?
Yeah.
Was it Stafford
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah.
to him? Who's the other one? Aaron Murray. That's what I'm thinking
It
of.
wasn't Aaron Murray.
Yeah,
than
no,
AJ
it was
Green.
Stafford. But I was trying to think who the quarterback was.
He was too busy losing in South Carolina.
God dog it. But I mean, maybe the stats aren't there, but for me personally,
He just destroyed SEC.
I mean, when Matthew Stafford didn't know what to do, it was, let me sling it 50 yards. AJ's down there somewhere. I mean, that something about the big, tall, physical
Something about the
receivers.
silver helmets with a red stripe down the middle really brings back bad memories with AJ Green. Murdered.
I must have really misunderstood the question. I got Justin Blackman at number 2.
That's
Yeah,
a good one.
yeah,
Justin
yeah.
Blackman was really good.
Yeah,
guys.
3,564
He
receiving
wouldn't
yards,
just lay off the
48
drugs. He would have been
41
straight. He would
touchdowns.
have been
If
straight.
he didn't just end his career in
I mean, that's not a bad one at all. I mean, really.
that is
I
a-
remember,
Oklahoma State, that's when they were balling.
yeah, when he
Yeah.
was there.
Break the TV.
And the TV belt came off.
When he was there, Justin Blackmon was the number one receiver, going to be the number one receiver in the draft. He was going to be the next.
Yeah, he went high. He
Calvin
went, he went like
Johnson,
fifth,
yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
he? Fifth.
Did you
sixth?
say it too?
Yeah, I said Devonta Smith.
Oh yeah, you did. So we're at one. I think I revealed mine a little earlier. I went Julio Jones. I think South Carolina beat them when Julio was there, but Julio Jones was almost unstoppable at Alabama. Like he had Mays on the other side, which was a really good wide receiver. Yeah, Alshon showed him up in that game, but watching Alabama that year with Greg McElroy, Julio Jones was almost unstoppable. I mean, you couldn't put a corner against him and expect him to stop him. He was hurt also a lot his third year when he got drafted, but Julio Jones is the best college wide receiver I've ever seen touch football field.
That might be another one of those growing up bias.
But I'd never seen anyone stop him.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Hunter Renfrow. No.
Okay.
I got Tavon Austin at one, though. We're talking about jet sweeps,
I'm
89 yards.
He was really good at West Virginia.
You guys had
let's
two
be
different
honest.
concepts on this.
Yeah, Tavon Austin was really good at West Virginia. I mean, kick return, punt return. I mean, they ran literally 90-yard jet sweeps with him.
Yeah. I mean, coming from Clemson fans, you should know how good Tavon Austin is.
I mean, and honestly, what you were just saying.
Yeah, you guys took two different. We all took different perspectives.
That's
on
the
this.
beautiful thing in it. I mean, you
Yeah.
can be.
You guys
statistical
went
about
off
it.
like crazy, like mainly like skill wise. I went off stats. Like I got Ryan Brolis. I won. You guys might not even know who that is.
I completely forgot.
He has the
He's-
second most
he
receiving
exists.
yards in NCAA history, and none of you guys even had him on the list.
Where'd he go?
Oklahoma's.
Dude, I so remember him as a kid, dude.
So I'm saying,
He
now
was
you guys might not remember,
really
he has the
small,
second most
white
receiving yards
slot
ever.
guy at Oklahoma.
Yeah, second most receiving yards ever. 46 total touchdowns.
Dude, it's one of those things where
It's
it's
one of those
like,
guys. It's like Hunter Renfrow. He's there
But
for
like-
4
but like you
years
said,
and he just
there's
racks up
multiple-
stats.
There's multiple
Yeah.
ways you can go about this. You can go about
Switzer from North Carolina.
Brian Switzer.
That was like
amazing
Tavon
one.
Austin 2.0.
I mean, there's like he said.
Yeah, so
there's
you guys,
multiple ways
we
you
just
can go
took
about
different
this.
perspectives
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah, I went skill set.
You just went skill, yeah. I went stats.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I
nothing
just
wong
went
with either
overall.
way.
You
That's
went Julio at one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you really won.
You think
Yeah,
I high
Tavon
fived you
at
for
one.
nothing?
So Julio, Tavon, Ryan Broyles. Yeah, everyone tweeted us and tell us if you know who Ryan Broyles is. I remember him now. He was really good at Oklahoma.
I mean, dude,
I
that's
just-
like,
that's not a
Why are
name.
they-
Who's
like, you
your
guys
guy?
are naming people that you'll know for years.
Who's your
I'm naming
quarterback
people
back
that
then?
just had crazy college careers, but
Who's-
they do nothing in the
Who was
NFL.
their quarterback? Was it Sam Bradford or no?
I don't know.
What year was this?
It's got to be 2010.
It's early
Yeah.
that
Sam
year.
2009.
Sam Bradford?
might have been.
Maybe Sam Bradford. Maybe that's why he was so good.
Yeah.
It's Sam Bradford at quarterback. But moving on to some questions that we added on to the end of the podcast that these three guys don't know about that I think would be fun, maybe leading into arguments. And the first one, you get to choose a teammate. Let's say everyone in here is Michael Jordan or LeBron James. You get to choose a teammate. You have Scottie Pippen or Anthony Davis. I'll start it off. I think it may be a little bit of Bulls biasy. I'm a Scottie Pippen guy. I don't think Anthony Davis is up there all-time rankings. I think Scottie Pippen was both sides of the ball. He can do it all. I don't think 80's – he's a really good offensive player, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but Scottie can drop. Scottie, like the people that argue against Michael Jordan GOAT debate, Scottie carried a team to the Eastern Conference Finals and was a game away from the finals without Michael Jordan. That's how good Scottie Pippen was. I think Scottie Pippen has to be the guy.
When MJ retired the first time, they went to the playoffs the first year. He took them to the playoffs. And he started the role of a point forward.
Yeah.
He started that.
created the
Yeah,
point forward.
I'd take Scottie Pippen all day.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen was up. I don't know, maybe people noticed that he started in JUCO and was a point guard at
Yeah.
6'9",
Yeah, it was like an
He was a
Arkansas
point
or
guard.
something.
And then
He
in
was
the
like-
NBA, he came into a point forward. So I'm taking Pippen
Yeah.
any day.
I mean, I love Pippen. So I mean, it's hard to. I love Anthony Davis too. I hate that he's a Laker now, but like you said, Pippen took a Bulls team that didn't have Michael Jordan, one game away from the finals. And then you looked at Anthony Davis's,
Did he win games in New Orleans?
and they can make
So
the
it's
argument.
hard to you can't really take his career from New Orleans. He
Yeah.
had a great career in New Orleans, but it's like
I
he
mean,
really
go look
didn't
at
have
his
too much
record with the
help.
Lakers without LeBron. It's not good.
Yeah, I know. It's
It's not good.
So that's why I don't know about 80. 80 is questionable.
I think the one time they
I think
went
he
to the
could be a
playoffs,
potential top.
they went to the
power forward
playoffs
ever,
was
but
15-16
weird.
year when Warriors won it, and Curry
sweat.
Curry hit that corner three, and AD just speared him into the crowd, dude. And he drained that.
That's when they
He
got
drained
swept,
it.
didn't they?
Yeah,
They got
he
swept
just
4-0.
drained it.
I mean, that's a really good Warriors team, but still.
Just
Swept.
speared him into the crowd, dude.
Yeah. Is that?
It's hard.
Yeah,
but 80
yeah.
is so.
Yeah, I think
don't
we're
know.
all in agreement
Yeah.
on Scottie Pippen. So, first argument debate, no work, no bueno, no fighting. Second, Bryce Young, Alabama, DJ Ugalele from Clemson.
I got you. Uagalele.
Yeah, come some fans roast me on Twitter. I'm going to, second fan, I'm going DJ. I think he's more proven. He's ready for the bright lights. He showed us against Notre Dame. Bryce Young's going to be really talented. Has a really good team. John Mechie's really good. But I got to go DJ just off experience, and I just think he's a better quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know too much about, what was it, Bryce Young, Alabama?
Number one quarterback in the country.
I know that.
Clearly.
I'd go DJ, like you said. We've seen what he can do against Notre Dame. I think he'll be straight.
I think this is one of those scenarios, one of the time will tell scenarios, because it's kind of hard when you haven't seen Bryce Young play. You've only seen DJ play in limited time. I mean,
But one big game.
Yeah. Which was a big stage for us.
He lost it, but
Yeah.
he put up 30.
It was a
that's what it's so
it was
hard.
a big
like,
game for a freshman's first
At
start.
this very moment,
Yeah, first start, Notre Dame.
at this very moment, I think I would go DJ. Ask me again at week 4 or 5. Then
I think he'll
Bryce
fix.
Young.
I think he'll fit good in that system though. If they'll run him.
Don't worry, don't get
Better
your
than
hopes up,
running
anyone watching,
Trevor
because we will definitely be bashing DJ week 3. So
Oh, it's hard. I think because they're both in a weird, almost in the same situation. They're both losing their number one running back. Both the teams are. So it's like they're both. So we can't say they both have an established run game, or one of them has an established run game. We don't really know yet. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna go DJ off the start. Definitely DJ.
So we all are in agreement in DJ. The last one, if you're the 49ers GM, a lot of stuff has been circulating with Mac Jones. Maybe not even taking a quarterback, sticking with Jimmy G. Let's say we're all on the clock. You're the 49ers. Who do you take? I'll start it off. I think I have to go Justin Fields. He's the best quarterback on the board. Obviously, they're not sold on Jimmy Garoppolo. They don't like him being hurt all the time. They want a quarterback to train behind him. Nick Mullins, obviously, they don't like him either. He's not proven. He hasn't won enough games. I'm going to go Justin Fields, quarterback.
man,
best off
I swear, if I swear, I'm sorry, but if I get to that number, was it number 3 pick, number 4, 3?
Yeah. Trey
Oh,
Lance.
yeah, what's
No,
the Dolphins
no.
pick? Yeah, that's right. But if I get to that
Kellen
number 3
Mond.
pick and you traded up, what was it, 9 spots?
Did not take a quarterback.
To where you probably could have gotten Mac Jones anyways at 12. You sit there and you go, Mitchell Trubisky 2.0. I'm not saying that's how Mac Jones is,
Yeah.
but that's the same vibe I'm getting
But he
from
is.
it.
I was kidding.
I mean, why trade up that much just to get a quarterback you probably could have taken with the same pick? So
I'm
if you're
hearing
going to draft a
rumors.
QB, it's got to be Justin.
You're getting rumors in your ear. Different people calling you. Mac Jones
Oh,
going
smoke
early.
screen season,
Jack
baby.
Mahomes is going
He might go
early.
1.
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
So I see. I'll
Jacksonville trade the
Whoa!
pick. Jacksonville trade the pick to the Jets.
They take Keeneland Mond at 1.
if I'm on the clock, I'm the GM. I'm taking Trey Lance. I got Jimmy G still on contract. I'm paying him. I'm using him.
Oh, that's a whole different argument. You
Yeah,
think Trey Lance is more proven and better than Justin Fields?
I'm not saying he's proven yet, but I still got Jimmy G that I'm paying.
Yeah,
I am
you can't get
letting
rid
Trey
of-
Lance
Then why wouldn't you take the best quarterback off the board?
because Trey Lance is known to have more potential than Mac Jones. But he
Is
has to work
Justin
for
Fields
it.
not a human being?
Dude, go watch the other podcast. I talked a lot of crap about Justin Fields. Dude is a one-read man.
Yeah.
I'm not taking Justin Fields.
And I don't think
I'm going Mac Jones at 3.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, we have total. Okay, this is.
Hold up.
This is
Yeah,
what this
we-
argument
Wait,
was
who'd you
supposed
go
to
with?
be
Give me the
about.
remote. I'm clicking rewind.
Did
real
you go
quick.
Justin Fields?
I went Justin Fields. I
Oh,
just want to.
man.
First of all, they picked Mac Jones. I will personally fly to San Francisco
Yeah,
and
not Mac
smack the
Jones.
GM.
Yeah.
Secondly,
But yet again, that's probably why they, if they did take him.
Well, you're
they
the
trade up,
GM.
'cause
You have to say why you would.
some teams might take him really early.
Dude, there's absolutely
Bengals.
zero way.
Yeah,
Who's
the
got-
Bengals might take him.
Who?
The Bengals might take him.
Might as well. They're not gonna draft the O line. You're gonna ruin Burrow's career.
Oh my god.
I still love that picture with the new
Yeah.
jerseys and you see
The
Burrow's
scar.
knee. It's just-
We're just gonna pass over that he just said Mac Jones.
oh, dude, no, I want to flame him to the eternity of hell, but I mean, it's just. Yeah, I know that's brutal.
It's just
but
3 quarterbacks on the board, and Justin Fields to me is the most proven.
I'm taking Trey Lance before I take Mac Jones.
Is he though?
I'm taking Justin
Yes.
Fields.
We're
Before.
in the playoff back-to-back times.
Mac Jones just came off a national
Beat
championship
Trevor Lawrence.
against Justin
The one thing I
Fields.
will give Mac
Put
Jones-
52 on his head.
The one thing,
That's Ohio State's defense. That's not Justin
the
Fields.
one thing
Oh,
I
it's
will
his
give,
defense now.
yeah, the one thing I will give Mac
Justin
Jones.
Fields playing corner.
Still 52
Man,
points
wonder
in a
if I ever get
football
the
game.
It's like Justin Fields is out there playing middle linebacker.
Okay, 2 things I want to break down real quick.
You just said their defense is horrible. I said, okay. It's still, you're putting 50 points up in a football game, in a national championship
I'm
game.
about to
Let's just
backhand
not all
him.
forget, but
Devonta
Justin
Smith
Fields-
is a wide receiver. Jalen Waddle.
Okay, but I
John
think
Mechie.
I think at the end of the day, Mac Jones will have a better career if you give him the O-line, the weapons.
That's any quarterback.
We've seen,
Yeah, I mean,
well,
It's hard to do that.
Blake Bortles looked good for a couple of years.
yeah.
I think first of all, the one thing that Mac Jones has above any other quarterback in the draft is leadership. But leadership doesn't get you anywhere if you don't have the arm talent. I'm not saying that Mac Jones does, but when you have guys like
Mac Jones don't have the arm talent?
I never.
You said arm. No, that's all I heard. I just heard arm talent.
I think that team carried Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones didn't carry Alabama. Alabama
Yeah, he
carried
throws
Mac Jones.
300 yards a game.
Mac Jones anywhere else is
Yeah, look at that.
Third
With the greatest receiving core of all time.
a
Let's not forget that.
Heisman winner.
Okay.
Najee Harris is the best back on the board.
Okay, but who's throwing the ball? For real?
Half their offensive lineman is first-round draft picks.
No, who throws the ball?
You don't
I'm
have to-
not saying Mac Jones
no.
is a bad passer.
Okay, but who's putting it in his chest? Mac
I'm
Jones
not saying
is.
Mac Jones is a
Devonta
bad
Smith had how
quarterback.
many yards after the catch?
Devonta Smith's throwing to Devonta Smith?
He just won the Heisman.
Because Mac Jones.
Yeah, he's just catching it going out of bounds.
Who's throwing the ball to him? That's what I'm trying to
That
say.
doesn't-
Blake, who's throwing
They
that
don't do
3-yard
that.
drag?
Yeah,
Blake?
he's throwing that little slant route so Devonta Smith can be gone.
I'm not saying Mac Jones is a bad quarterback,
Yeah, that's
but
not
he is
the
not a
argument.
top 4 quarterback.
He's not. I'm not putting my franchise in
He
Mac
does not
Jones.
have the ceiling that Justin Fields, Trey Lance.
Mac Jones is
has.
Kyle Trask.
What?
He's a day 2 guy.
What?
Mac Jones is not a day
I
1
could see him
guy.
going. I could see him going
dumb?
mid-late
Mac Jones
first.
is not a
I-
day 1 guy.
I could
I'm not
definitely
high
see
on
him.
Mac Jones.
What?
I don't see him going day 2.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I do not
If he's
see
there
where.
when Pittsburgh picks, Pittsburgh's taking him.
All right, rewind part
New
2.
England will take
I
him.
want to go and address
He's not falling
one
day
thing.
2.
A lot of people call Justin Fields a one-route guy.
This guy
Exactly. But
Go watch the tape.
go watch
Yeah,
the
just
tape. But when you,
beat Clemson with a broken rib cage.
I
And then
think
Mac
one
Jones
thing
had
that people
52 and watch the
forget
tape.
is that wide receiving core was so good, and the way that offense is built, you don't have to look at more than 1 or 2 routes. When your main route is a vertical going up the seam or down the
Exactly,
sideline.
but you said he's the most proven. That's not proven.
I never said he was proven. When did I say that?
That's the whole argument. We're arguing about Justin Fields here. You said he's the
No.
most proven over Trey Lance and Mac
I
Jones.
said he has the highest potential.
I think Justin.
Well,
Fields,
I'm not arguing you. Blake said he's the most proven. My bad.
I think Justin Fields has proven all we need to know. He's not a one-read guy. He made one bad read in a game against Clemson. And that's all people talk about. He threw the pick. He comes back. He beats Clemson. He has one of the best years in Ohio State football history. On 6, 7 games they played this year. I mean, and came in and whooped the Clemson defense. I was supposed to be.
I'll put it this
stop
way: he's
Justin
not
Fields.
Dwayne Haskins. I mean, he's
So much better. He's the best Ohio State quarterback come out of that program in a long time.
there's
No shot.
way.
I'm taking Mac Jones and Trey Lance over Justin Fields. No way.
At the very least, Trey Lance I can understand. At the very least, but Mac Jones, dog. Yeah, AJ McCarron.
I like Kyle Trask better than Mac Jones.
I think Trey. I'm taking Trey Lance
God.
over Justin Fields. Definitely Mac Jones.
Mac
But
Jones
you
has
gotta look
way
at the,
better
you gotta look at the
accuracy than
system.
him.
You ain't throwing Mac Jones in a San Francisco system right now. You ain't. I think that with the system they got going right now, I think if they get a somewhat running of a quarterback that can run a little, it's gonna change that offense.
That is such a West Coast
It's
offense.
such a Justin Fields offense. Jet sweeps of Debo, slant routes of Brandon Ayuk.
Exactly. I don't think you're throwing Mac Jones in. I'm taking Trey Lance in that. I am. They're so run first.
I don't.
I'm the GM. I'm picking Trey Lance.
Yeah, I'm taking Mac Jones.
And your franchise.
He's the Bears.
Oh, I got cramp. Why don't you grab your franchise and
Move it somewhere else.
Dude, there's absolutely zero way. You deserve a cramp, okay?
Okay, that's I think that's enough time on the clock.
Oh my god.
Talking about
draft.
Talking about the draft as we've talked all podcast. We're going to be posting our top 10, or maybe a full round if we decide on it, a full round mock draft on our Instagram and Twitter if we can figure that out. And we'll let you know on Twitter and Instagram, maybe even on TikTok if we make a video out of it. But we'll keep you updated on that. You can listen to us on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. We post every single week. You can watch us on the video. CJ's still cramping. We love you. We love everyone that tunes in every single week. Have a good week, guys.
Deuces.
Deuces.